Tell me when you tweet it out, okay? Oh, never mind. I see it now. All right. All right. You got locks. Last one, if United got a tail, didn't hit it, was close. So which one do you tail? Yeah, I have very good bets. I don't like calling anything a lock though, but I do have very good bets, especially for tonight. I'm really liking some of the stuff on tonight's slate. Sorry, I'm getting a piece of paper. That's why I'm not on stream. Okay. I like to be able to write my shit down. All right. So I got two slips I'm going to show you guys. I'm waiting for a couple more people to get in the stream. And if you can see my screen and you're here, just say something in the chat, and then I'll start sharing my plays and all that. All right. I tailed the T Higgins last night. Yeah, that one cashed. That one was free. That one was free. What app are the plays on? These are gonna be on Prize Picks, but some of the plays are on Underdog. Some of them are on FanDuel, Fliff. You can really play a lot of my stuff or some of my stuff everywhere. Some of it is Prize Pick specific. I want to get a couple more people in here before I start showing the plays. I'm just have to keep re-showing it. Okay, I'm about to start it. All right, Nathan. Hope you're doing good. So slip number one is this right here. I have Miles Turner over 35.5 fantasy versus Toronto. Toronto gives up a buttload of points, fantasy points to Sinners. If I go and pull this up, one second, let me pull this up. Just so I'm not saying the wrong stats. Okay, yeah, I got the stats now. So, Miles Turner over 35.5 fantasy. That's the first play. Toronto gives up the most fantasy points to Sinners. They play pretty fast, and Jakob Podol is not a great defender. Uh, Turner's got really good stock upside, so I really like taking fantasy. This is Prize Picks, so I really like taking fantasy. You can take PRA, but again, I mean, it's a great matchup. He has a lot of stock upside. and Toronto gives up the most fantasy points to center, so I really like that play. Next play is De'Aaron Fox under 16.5. Um, this is kind of a wagon if you've been in my Discord for a while. De'Aaron Fox is a second half player. Last year he almost won, or he did win. I don't remember. Um, Clutch Player of the Year, because at the end of the game, that is when he does a lot of his damage. Second half is really when he starts trying. Let's look at the stats this year. Okay, so perfect example. He's averaging 3 more points in the second half this year. He's averaging 12.1 in the first half and 15.8 in the second half. If you look back at last year, he averaged 12.5 points in the first half and 13.6 in the second half, even though he played less minutes in the second half. He's averaging almost a shot more in the second half this year. Last year, sorry. And this year, he's taking 3 more shots in the second half than he is in the first half. He really likes to turn it up in the second half, so I took under 16.5 in the first half. Also, Atlanta has Dyson Daniels, maybe the best perimeter defender in the NBA. He's long, he's quick, he can keep up with De'Aaron Fox. So that's probably my favorite Prize Picks play. If I had to take any play as a straight, that's the one I had the most units on, is De'Aaron Fox. Doesn't average a lot of points in the first half. Again, 3 less points and 3 less shot attempts in the first half versus the second half. And then he's going up against Dyson Daniels, maybe the best perimeter defender in the NBA. He's got the length and the speed to cover De'Aaron Fox. And then I paired that with CJ Stroud and Nico Collins, both under yards. This is similar to the 10x we hit last week. I'm taking advantage of something called correlation. So typically on a normal parlay, you have 4 independent events, right? I like to call them dominoes. So you have 4 dominoes lined up. This is just 2, but let's say it's 4, right? In order to hit a 4-leg parlay, you need 4 dominoes to fall, right? You need like the Lions to win, Seattle to win, Niners to win, Celtics to win. 4 independent events, meaning if the Lions win, that does not make Seattle more likely to win. But in this parlay, I am able to like basically stack my dominoes in front of each other, to where I'm saying, okay, if CJ Stroud goes under 238 yards, the odds that Nico Collins also goes under are extremely high. So I'm able to, instead of having 4 separate dominoes where they're all independent events, I need to flick each one. I'm kind of lining up 2 in a row where I just need to hit one and the other one will fall 80% of the time, right? When CJ Stroud goes under, Nico is like, I mean, I have to do the exact math, but it's like a 76% pair or something like that, right? He's a huge percent of CJ Stroud's yards. I'll tell you what this line is. Almost 30% of CJ Stroud's yards are going to Nico Collins. So if CJ Stroud is going under, he's only throwing 180 yards or whatever, the odds Nico Collins goes under are very high. Okay? That's the first stack that I played. I'll answer the questions in a second. That's the first one. The next one I took was, again, I took De'Aaron Fox. I've already explained that. I took Josh Giddey over 26.5. Now, Detroit's not really a great matchup for point guards. If you want to call Josh Giddey a point guard, he's kind of weird because he averages like 6.5 rebounds a game, and he plays a mid-range post type of guard. He's not out there taking a lot of threes, so it's kind of hard to use defense versus position for him. But Detroit does play good defense, and they also play slow. But this line is just way too low. Even after you factor in that it's Detroit. If you just do 22.5 PRA for Giddey, it's pretty similar to the fantasy line. I do like fantasy a tiny bit better, so I took that. But if you just do PRA, in games that he has, let me get this. In games that he has 20 plus minutes, he's hitting in 75% of his games. One, he landed on 22. The other one, he shot 20% from the field, okay? It's a very high hit rate, and that's why I'm taking it. He should see 25 minutes, honestly, maybe 28, 30. It's a great buy low spot. He played Houston and the Cavaliers in the last two games. Got blown out and both got zero fourth quarter minutes both games. So this line's really low. And the only way I can think that they priced it this low is they looked at his game log and said, "Damn, he played 15 minutes 2 nights ago and played 21 last night and like played like shit." But they were getting blown out. Like no starters played in the fourth quarter in either game. So it's just a low line. Um, and then again, I paired that with Cooper Rush and CeeDee Lamb. It's the same thing as Nico Collins. If Cooper Rush only throws for 150 yards, the odds CeeDee Lamb goes over are pretty low. Why do I take unders instead of overs? You could take overs if you want, but again, sports betting is all about probability. I'm just lining up as much probability on my side as possible. So if I can get an extra 1% edge on the unders, I'm going to take that. I really don't care. NFL lines are so sharp. So many people bet on NFL lines every day that 174.5 line for Cooper Rush or the 58.5 line for CeeDee Lamb, whatever you want to say, is very, very sharp. It's close to the true line. It might be the true line. So then unders are more correlated than overs if you're assuming that the line is 50-50, because it's harder for CeeDee Lamb to go over when Cooper goes under than it is for CeeDee Lamb to go under when Cooper goes over, right? Cooper could throw for 200 yards because he gets a 90-yard chunk play to Jalen Tolbert, or Rico Dowdle goes on a screen for 75 yards. And CeeDee Lamb doesn't have to go over. Of course, it's still very likely he does, but I'm just talking about probability. A perfect example was yesterday. I took a Titans under stack. Calvin Ridley was 61.5 yards, only ended with like 30, but Will Levis threw for like 230. Short his line because he had a 98-yard touchdown or some shit like that to Westbrook, whatever his name is, right? So that can happen. Like all I'm wanting is probability. So for this stack, I did Cooper Rush, CeeDee Lamb, both under yards, correlated really nicely. CeeDee Lamb accounts for over 30% of Cooper Rush's yards. I took De'Aaron Fox under again. First half points. He's facing Dyson Daniels, who's maybe the best defender in the NBA, especially on the perimeter. He's got the length and size. And then De'Aaron Fox is not a great first half player, averaging 3 less points and 3 less shots in the first half. And then Giddey over. Just a really low line for absolutely no reason. Am I still taking the 27.5 bump on Giddey? Yes, I would. I do still have 3 more plays. 3 more prize picks plays that I like. I have them put up on my screen, but I'm also not wanting to share my screen because I am worried that they will bump this before I can post it. So I'm hiding my screen and I'm finishing up a slip right now. If you guys want to ask questions while I'm doing that, you can. I wish there was another. I have 3 NBA plays that I like. I wish there was another stack I could take under. You know, like 2 Monday Night Football games or a college football game, but there's really nothing up for that. Let me see if they posted more fantasy. If you're wondering why do I post so many fantasy scores and first half bets and stuff, it's pretty simple. Prize Picks has to originate those themselves, okay? If you're trying to win on Prize Picks and you're like a points line, okay? That points line is on FanDuel, DK, MGM, Fliff, Underdog, Pinnacle, Bovada, Bet Online, Fanat. It's on every book. And it's all the same line. So what does that mean? You have 15 different companies, all with teams of 50 plus people or however many they have, right? Who knows? But a bunch of models, everyone getting money on these props saying, this is the line we think it is. So do you think you're more likely to be 15 different companies that are all saying this is the price it should be? Or when I'm taking De'Aaron Fox under 16.5 points, PrizePicks is the only place that offers that prop. So that means they're making that in-house, and it's just me versus PrizePicks, and I'm taking my money line every fucking day. That is a nuke, okay? I'm like minus 500, and it's still a good bet. My money line versus PrizePicks. Now, if you're start talking about my bets versus the team versus the combined group of FanDuel, DraftKings, Prize Picks, Underdog, Pinnacle, Bovada, Bookmaker, Bet Online, Fanatics, ESPN, whatever, right? It's a lot harder to beat all those people because it's so many brains versus mine, okay? On this, when it's just fantasy score, when it's just NBA first half, when you can take advantage of correlation, it is just me versus them. I'm taking them one on one, and I'm taking, like, I'm posting the ass up. That's all you need to know. I'm looking for two more plays or a pair. You know, I want to do. I was thinking about doing. Okay, that didn't. Just give me a second. If you guys have any questions, you can ask them. I need a Loch Ness monster. Take De'Aaron Fox under first half. I want to see if they took that off since I've been here to explaining it because it was there when I started. No, it's still there. I would take that absolutely. I had one play that I really like and they bumped it, which is unfortunate. They bumped it before I could play. I might do. Yeah, if you have any questions about why I took this prop, or you just want to learn, just ask. You need a Loch Ness monster. Yeah, I mean, if Loch Ness monsters existed, you'd be in the right place. But I think I know what I'm gonna take. I want to see his odds. Any methods to get the bankroll up fast on Prize Picks? I mean, I think correlation is really good to increase your bankroll, but there's also variance. Like what kind of bankroll are you talking about? Any methods to cheat Prize Picks? I mean, correlation is pretty glitchy. Correlation is pretty glitchy, my guy. What's your bankroll? We left some core, yeah. Yeah, I'm a fiend for some Koro. For some Koro. I want to see if they'll post more fantasy props. They only have like half the games up right now. Again, if you're just tuning in, that's the first slip. Here's the next one. If you're wanting to play these. Not coming through Riverside. What does that mean, Alex? If you're talking about sharing my screen, I'm hiding my screen so I don't bump the plays, and I'm just showing you the ones I've already submitted. Yeah, Alex, I can. Oh, all the chats in there are not YouTube. Okay, that makes sense. Let me pull up the YouTube chat on my screen, or the Twitter chat. Sorry. Let me pull up the Twitter chat on my screen. Let me pull up the Twitter chat on my screen. Okay. Oh well. Okay. There's a shit ton of stuff in the Twitter chat. I'm about to read all these in the Twitter chat. Sorry, I've had the chat pulled up, but it was just YouTube chat. I thought it was both combined. Okay. Okay. Someone said, would Fox first half of Tank Dell be a good two man? Tank Dell did bump to 11. I still like it. If you can see here, I took 10.5 with Ananobi under 2.5 blocks and steals. He only got one. So I'm riding that for a 3x. I do still like it at 11, but I probably wouldn't take it at a two man. What do you think about Nemhard over 27.5 fantasy? Reeves, I was looking at that. That's crazy that you asked that. Am I dropping another ticket? Yeah. Is he ready? Is there another platform he's streaming on? YouTube and Twitch. Um, where are these questions coming from? Yeah, it's just YouTube chat. Sorry. Will you let us know when you're about to drop in the premium because notifications still broke? I'm gonna give you a notification that I'm about to drop when your notifications are broke. That don't make sense. I'll try it, yeah, but there's no way for me to tell you that I'm about to drop without a notification. So the first one don't work. Second one probably ain't. Um, do you alter the units you bet on depending if it's a 4, 5, or 6 pick slip? Yes, you should. Um, a two man, it's. I'm trying to think of the best way to describe this. When you're playing 4, 5, 6 leg slips, those are long shot. Okay, they're 9-to-1 parlays, meaning you have a 10% chance to hit them, assuming all the bets are 50%. Now, of course, I think I can get like 15%, and that's why I'm profitable. But you want to risk less units on long shots versus when you're playing just a straight bet or something like that, obviously. So you do adjust. If you're in my Discord, I give unit recommendations with every single play I post. You will never get a play from me without a unit recommendation. So you don't have to worry about that if you're in my Discord. No questions, just a quick shout out my boy Lalo and I tell you on everything. Shout out Victor and Lalo, appreciate that. Do you like Jeremy McCain points over 21.5? No. Tank Dell fantasy score with De'Aaron Fox 16.5 points. I think that's hitting. Yes, it will cash. Okay. You don't see Fox 1.5 on price fix. It's there, bro. Just type it in. Zeke, question about the recaps. Is that just PP and premium, or is it all platforms? It's all platforms. Um, Anything that me or anyone in the premium channels post, not the affiliates, but the premium channels. Swift Daily Pick said, "What's good? What's good? He would do a touchdown in 150 yards. De'Aaron Fox will stay less than 17.5 points. Yeah, he should. Okay, I'm back with the Twitter chat now. Sorry for ignoring you guys. Um, I'm in the Twitter chat now, so if you have any questions, ask. Again, I am making a third slip right now. The two slips are the ones you see on the screen. There's that one, and then there's this one. Okay. While those are being sat there, I am making a third slip on stream. I'm not sharing my screen just because I don't want it to be removed while I'm making it, okay? Oh, Swift was saying what's good to Alex, not me. Okay. Fuck you, Swift. Someone said they removed De'Aaron Fox. They might have. Nope, they didn't. It's still there. I'm looking at it right now. I forgot you can't see my screen, but it's there. Zeke, you like 2 touchdowns for mixing. Feel like he might go off. Yeah, I was looking at playing fantasy score at 17.5. Um, I think 17. He should. I mean, he's probably gonna score like 20 fantasy tonight. I would think. So I do like 17.5. I don't know if I'm gonna play it 100%, but if you guys are like looking for just an extra leg and one of your slips, I do really like mixing fantasy. I just don't know if I'm gonna play it just yet. I'm wanting to see what else they add for fantasy. I'm waiting for them to add more teams. Right now, they only got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 games. I think it's an 8-game slate. So I'm missing. Yeah, they're just going down. I'm missing Hawks, Kings, and Warriors, Clippers. So I have 6 games. I have 6 games up. Oh no, I don't have Heat props. So yeah, I need Heat and 76ers too. They removed Cooper Rush. He's gonna come back. He's 100% coming back. Prize Picks is scared. Yeah, Alex, is this you in my chat? I want to send me that picture. That's your profile picture. I can't see that. That shit looks like you in like high school. Send me the picture that is your thing. I've been trying to sign up with DubClub to start selling picks. I was wondering how long does that process take after applying? Let's see. Rowdy. I'm looking at your Twitter. Okay. That's honestly, I'm gonna refer you to Alex in the chat. Alex, can you answer that? Because I didn't go through the application process. I was actually switching from another platform. I already had like 25K when I switched to DubClub, and they reached out to me. I'm sure Alex knows a better answer than me because I've never done that, or I've never talked to someone that has. Dude, I really wish I could get this prop just a tiny bit down. There's a prop I really like, but it's just a tad bit too high, and I think it'll bump back down. Any chances for lifetime? I gave away a lifetime yesterday. I'm assuming you're talking about. Are you asking like during the stream? Nico Goblin, never take a Goblin. Shoot us a DM, Rowdy. DubClub reached out to you. Do you like anything for NBA tonight? I do. I took. You can see De'Aaron Fox, Josh Giddey. You could see. What was the other one? Turner. I took. Miles Turner. I have one more play that's in my cart. I don't know what I'm going to take it with yet is the issue. What's up, y'all? I might sign up. Josh Giddey, why don't you go live on Twitter anymore? I mean, I'm live on Twitter right now, just not on my own account. But I really need to start getting back into the Twitter lives, like going live every day or close to every day. It just got a lot. Once NBA started, like my time is very tight. Turner for 15 points. I took Turner fantasy. This my time's very tight once NBA started. Dropped a slip. I got 2 slips right here. Big dog. Don't take a goblin. I forgot whoever asked that, but I just thought about that. No goblins. Please come back. We need you. I mean, if you want all my plays, you can check out my DubClub. I try to go live on Twitter when I can. It's just, I mean, NBA is a lot of work. NFL is a lot of work. College football is a lot of work. Like, I'm constantly making picks, and, like, a lot of times when I'm on stream, I'm just answering questions. Zeke, which picture you referring to when you post on X? You went 4-1 and 7-0. Which ones are those improving? I mean, you have to show me the tweet. I know I said that I was like 7 and let me find it. Let me find it. So right here, I was 10-0 on my last 10 prize picks NBA bets. So I hit Tyus Jones and Draymond Green. I hit well, that was a college basketball bet, but I hit that. I hit Horford under free throws made. I hit Suggs fantasy. I hit Naz Reid fantasy. I hit Keegan Murray and Brandon Ingram. I hit Misi and Sabonis. This was actually the slip from the stream last week. Um, that's NHL. I'm trying to see where the NBA streak started. Okay, I don't see it. That's too far back now. Yeah, okay. So that was like the 10-0 streak where I just had cashed 10 NBA bets in a row on prize picks. Sometimes it's books. I mean, I usually say it in the tweet. Like when I said 5-1, that was in the book bets thing for college football. Go live whenever you can. I know. If the OG Anunoby and Tank Dell hit, I'm tailing. Toss me a lifetime. So if I cash a slip for you, give you lifetime. How the hell does that make sense, dog? I usually place picks on chalkboard or sleeper. I haven't used prize picks. How is it? I mean, it's good. Obvious. I mean, it's like the most popular app right now. There's definitely some downsides to it. Someone said, "What do I like? Do I like Turner fantasy?" I assume yes. Yeah, I'm fine with that. I do. I mean, that's the same exact bet as PRA, honestly. I mean, as fantasy, because he's 8 higher for fantasy. He has a ton of stock upside, stock, steals, and blocks. He has a ton of upside with those 2 categories. As a rule, more units on a 2-man or less units on a 3 and a 4. Yes, you do typically want to have more units on a 2-man because your odds of hitting are higher. How many more PP Discord slips will there be? 1 or 2. Do I like Brandon Aubrey? I've never met him. Yeah, I get that. For his made field goals. Oh, do I like Aubrey made field goals? I mean, what is it? It's probably a goblin for 1.5. Maybe not because the fucking Cowboys suck, but let's see. Yeah, I mean, there's no chance I'm taking that. Okay. In a 2-man with that goblin, it's 3x. So I assume this is only like minus 130 on books. Let me see what this is on books. I assume it's like minus 130 because I was putting in a 2-man and it was giving me 3x even though there was a goblin. Every step I take. Field goals made. Yeah, 130. Okay. Damn, I called that shit. Yeah, I mean, if you can get it if you could put that in a parlay and not get a payout reduction, I like that. But if you have to get a payout reduction, I wouldn't. So if you're taking like a 5-leg and it turns from 10x to 8.5x because you're throwing Aubrey in it, that's not a good bet. No Turner fantasy at the moment. I hope to bring it back. Yeah. Alex, you gonna send me that picture? I'm finna make that your profile picture for my contact. Your contact. That's gonna be your contact. Every step I take. God, dude, Cade is 9.5 assists. He's really different. Kicking points up on rebound. Okay, Huncho. Do you take how well a certain player is doing over the last 5 games to decide to pick? Never. Never, 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 never. Okay. Class is in session, okay? Get out the pen and paper. Put down the lotion. I know you guys have been... Okay, maybe I shouldn't say that, honestly, because this isn't my stream. But... Let me... Hold up. Someone just added me about something. This is a 10x. That Akron thing is not correlated very well. But the Aubrey with Mixon thing is pretty good. The Akron side is just not correlated well. Okay. Class is in session. Do I take into account the last 5 or 10 games? Do I take into account the defense, how good the defense plays? Do I take into account what the player ate for breakfast? If it's a Tuesday, if it's a revenge game? No, 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 no. All of that is priced in, okay? What does priced in mean? It's like when you go to buy a car, if you're buying a car that has every single, like, luxury, whatever it's called, you're going to pay more for the car, right? And if you're buying a car that has bare bones or the engine don't work, something like that, you're going to pay less. It's all priced in. So if a player's been playing bad over his last 5 games or been playing good, it's going to be bumped up a little bit, and it's going to all be priced in. It's the same thing as the defense they're playing, right? Let's say CJ Stroud, I mean, I'm just using CJ Stroud because he's on my screen. I'm going to use De'Aaron Fox, actually. Let's say De'Aaron Fox is playing the Timberwolves again. He just dropped 50 on the Timberwolves last game. If you don't think that the 25 books in the world know that he dropped 50 on them last game, you're an absolute idiot, okay? What you need to do, what I do, okay, is instead of me trying to beat 25 sports books, I use 20 sports books to try to snipe off one. What does that mean? Okay, let's say there's 20 sports books that have the Celtics as favorites tonight, okay? But there's one that has whoever the Celtics are playing, which I know they don't play tonight. I'm gonna use Georgia actually because they're right here, okay? Let's say Georgia plays Alabama. Georgia's the favorite on 20 books, meaning Georgia's projected to win on 20 different books. FanDuel, DK, Pinnacle, BetOnline, all these books have Georgia as a favorite. But then I can open up Fliff and get Georgia as an underdog, meaning they're plus money. That is how you win sports betting. You're using 20 books, all their teams, all their brains, all their models to snipe off one team. That's how you win money sports betting. You don't win money sports betting, oh, he's went over his last 5 matchups versus that team. No shit, every sports book in the world knows that, right? You're trying to beat 25 teams of very smart, sometimes they're Stanford grads, have their own models, or they're ex-pro sports bettors that get paid $200,000 a year to set lines, or they're $75,000 people who legit just get paid to trade lines, meaning, okay, Pinnacle's moving this team as more of a favorite, we're going to move them with them, right? You're trying to beat all of that by saying, okay, he's covered in this last 5. Isn't it a lot easier to say, okay, 20 sportsbook has this as the most likely outcome. This one has it as less likely. I'm going to take it on this book. Simple, easy money. That's the easiest thing. That's why sports betting is so easy. So do I use OddsJam or some other AI program? Yes. I don't use OddsJam. I have, perfect example, right? With my Discord, I don't sell this as a separate price, a separate tier. It's all under the DubClub thing. With my Discord, you get access to AI 24/7 bots. I call them minions because they are literally working round the clock for you. They're like a little minion. I tell it, hey, this is what you need to look for on these books. Okay? And they just do the work. So let's say you're on Fliff, okay? I know Fliff's legal in a ton of spots, right? So let me go find an example of something I care to talk about. 14.79% EV. Okay, what does that mean? That's 14.79% ROI. So if you're betting $100 on this, you're expected to make $14.79. Okay, that's very good. Obviously, if you could turn $100 into $115 every time, you'd be richer than Warren Buffett. Okay, of course you got to worry about limits. We're not talking about that. You can see on Fliff, it was priced at plus 120. Okay, Pinnacle, one of the sharpest sports books in the world, had this at minus 120. It was a straight arb. Okay, 14.79% EV. I tell you how many units to put on it, the EV percentage, what book you're comparing to, the win probability, everything, right? I make sports betting as easy as friggin' possible for you. Another one, Iowa spread minus 4.5. Okay, this is football. This is for my boy Alex, right? Let's say Alex, who's a big Iowa fan, Alex is sitting here on his phone, and he gets a notification. Fliff, 4.75% spread, Iowa Hawkeyes minus 4.5, NCAA. You can see Fliff is hanging this at minus 114, meaning they're saying it's like a 52% chance to hit, okay? But Pinnacle, sharpest sportsbook in the world, is hanging this at minus 142. That's 5% EV, 1.37 units. And these things work round the clock for you. Not only do you get that for every single book, Fliff, Rebet, Prize Picks, Underdog, FanDuel, Draft. Legit, if you were on an sports betting app, I got that shit. I have you can see all these books, right? Not only do you get all that, you get all my Prize Picks plays. You get all my Underdog plays. You get all my Rebet plays. You get all my Better plays, Chalkboard, Sleeper plays, my book bets, right? This is my guy Brandon, who's, you can see, let me find his year, like his, in the 2 months he's been posting, month and a half, he's up 30 units, right? 10 units on props, 21 units on main lines. You get all his plays. You get my plays, right? I'll show you Sharp Bet of the Day. Sharpest bet of the weekend. You heard it here first. Let me find it. Carson Beck over 1.5 passing touchdowns. Everyone thought Beck been shit, right? No. Him. Fucking him, okay? It was always bounce back. So that's what, you could use that. So the person that asked, do you use OddsJam or some other AI program? I wanted my members to get as much bang for their buck as possible. I didn't want them to have to buy my subscription, then go buy 3 other subs to get the quality products and tools you need to be a professional gambler. A profitable gambler, not professional. Okay? I have it all here. I have someone that posts books that's super profitable. I post Prize Picks. I have all the minions, right? I have affiliates that post League of Legends, tennis, NHL. I made this the #1 hub for sports betting. There's no better place to put your money. And I'm not, like, to get these on some websites, to get like a EV bot like this, some websites charge you $200 a month. $250, $150, right? $50. The cheapest you can find something like this is $50. You get this for $50 plus you get all my plays. There's no better bang for your buck, I promise you. Okay? What do you personally look for when you decide picks? Jack, are you talking about Prize Picks or book bets? What do you mean? That's a complicated question. I'm in the court. I didn't even know we had this. Yeah, I'm trying. You know, like I know that, like, it's not everyone's cup of tea, but it's something everyone should be using. I mean, it's a no-brainer, right? You can go on Fliff here, or Rebet, sorry, right? I mean, I have soccer, okay? Spain minus 1.5. What time did they play today? Starts in 2 minutes. Let's just see if this hit out of curiosity. I mean, this is plus 127, so it has a less than a 50% chance to win. Oh, they don't play. Oh, they're starting now. Okay. So, let's say you're sitting on your lunch break, right? Because this was at 1:58 Eastern. So let's say you're on your lunch break in central Iowa, wherever, right? I mean, who the fuck lives in Iowa? But, sorry, Alex. But you get a 12.62 notification for Spain minus 1.5, plus 127 on Rebet. You can get plus 106 FanDuel, plus 104 Circa, minus 102 Matchbook. Pinnacle with a $50,000 limit, okay? Pinnacle is taking $50K on this game. You can get minus 105 odds on Pinnacle. I'm getting plus 127 Rebet. This was an insane play. I was in the stream talking to Alex, so I missed this. Bet online 106. Bet online's probably taking 5K or something, right? These are they're insane. I know I've been talking about this forever, but a lot of people are asking about it. Someone mentioned to me when Miles Turner Fantasy's back up. You could take, what's it called? PRA if you want. So we just search out for the props on there, say for PP. No, so I have a Prize Picks bot, right? Andrew Nemhart under 5.5 assists. Goga under 5.5 rebounds. Prize Picks gets a lot less pings because they are sharper. And they have a shit ton of hold on their props. So it is harder to find them on Prize Picks. A lot of Prize Picks, like profitable betting, is taking advantage of correlation and like fantasy score, NBA 1/2, stuff I was talking about, right? They're pretty good at trading their lines with sportsbooks and making sure they don't have an outlier like that. Do I have to have a certain unit size to be profitable after paying $50 a month? And what if I can't use every book app for the minions either? Mystical. So you're saying, do I have to have a certain unit size to be profitable every? So let's go to this right here. This year, I am up 645.103 units. Okay, this was just updated yesterday after the games. So if you're just putting $5 a bet on that, you're up $3,225 in 11 months. Okay. Now let's say in those 11 months you paid for my Discord. Let's just say you've already paid for it 11 times. That's 1,000, or that's, I was about to sneeze, sorry. That's 550. 50 times 10 is 500. Another one, yeah, 550. If you were betting $5 a bet, this is how much you'd be up in my premium in 11 months. That's an extra $2,700, right? Now, of course, you have to calculate growth of your unit. Because after, let's say, you can see this is my P&L forever. Let's say right here after April, I made 237 units. You up to $20 units, right? So now you're talking about 645 units, 645.103 times, let's say a $10 average, because you started off at 5, you worked your way up to 20. Let's just say a $10 average. Let's say 15, actually. 15. You're looking at $9,676 in profit. Now you take out the $550 for, what's it called? For the subscription, you're looking at $9,000. An extra 9 or 10K a year just for betting. Like, you already bet on sports. You already watch sports. You're just tailing someone that knows what the fuck they're doing. Right? That's a no-brainer. Okay? That's not talking about, I have run promos all the time where you can get 6 months for $150, so you're only paying $30 a month, right? Stuff like that. I mean, $6 for $150, that's not 30, that's like 20. I don't think that's 25. Whatever the math comes out to, right? Regardless. I run a bunch of promos, and none of that counts minion plays. So if you can get in minion plays that are obviously profitable, it's just EV. That shit's been proven profitable forever. You could easily be making 10, 12, 15K a an extra a year. Now, once you start getting bigger units and stuff, I mean, there's some people in my Discord that make more sports betting than they do at their job, and they pay their house payments with sports betting money. They're all of their they're a nurse. All their nursing money they just put in vacations and savings and stuff like that, right? What current promos are you running? You can get a free trial below this tweet. I don't have any promo. I'm gonna have a Black Friday special. Obviously, Black Friday is like a week away, 2 weeks away. I don't know. It's a bit away. We're gonna have a Black Friday special. It's like probably gonna be 6 months for half off. I just talked to my guy Dash about that. What he thinks is best. But right now, I mean, I might have a promo active right now. Let me check. And again, those things notify you. You can just get you can click, you don't have to get it for every app. Let's say you only want Fliff and Prize Picks. Just get those rolls for Fliff and Prize Picks. And then, sorry, I'm getting this 6-digit code. Just get the notification for Fliff and Prize Picks, and you're chilling. Like, you could be making so much betting on sports. There's nothing better than making money betting on sports, dude. That shit is so much fun. Obviously, it's fun because, okay, if you want to do the mystical in my chat, when you go to checkout, use code ZEEK50. You'll get 50% off your first month, okay? ZEEK50. ZEKE 50. You get 50% off your first month. What's it called? What was I saying? Oh, betting on sports is so much fun when you're actually profitable. And the other thing is, like, if you're, I assume a lot of you guys are like me, because a lot of us at sports bet are all, kind of similar. Obviously, we all have our differences, but there's nothing better for me than hearing my friend complain about all the rat shit bets they take and have the sports books are against them. They're like, oh, dude, FanDuel knew I had a 10-leg parlay to pay out $50, so they had to get De'Aaron Fox get hurt. And it's like, oh, yeah, I'm up $500 this week for my boy Zeke, right? I'm up. Oh, yeah, me and Zeke just hit a 13. Like, I just hit a 13.5x on Sunday Night Football. You go into work Monday morning, your coworker's like, damn, bro, did you see that Sunday Night Football game? Like, I had Bengals money line, and the kicker missed 2 field goals. Can you believe that, bro? Like, sports betting just ain't for me. And you're like, damn, I hit a 13.5x yesterday. Like, I turned $10 into 140 watching the game, and they were betting on Bengals money line, trying to make $20. Okay, recap those slips before you jump off. I got you, Alex. So, did you drop any slips? Yes. Okay, Mystical, here we go. I got 2 slips. I was trying to make a third. I can't. I'll probably post it on my Twitter. But slip number 1, I'll recap it, tell you why I like them all, because I got 5 minutes, okay? Slip number 1, I got Miles Turner over 35.5 fantasy. Toronto gives up the most fantasy points to centers. They play at one of the fastest paces in the league. And Miles Turner's been super hot. He has great stock upside, meaning steals and blocks. Those are worth 3 points on Prize Picks. So I really like his matchup today. The second play in the slip is De'Aaron Fox under 16.5. He's been on fire, but he faces the best perimeter defender in the NBA probably in Dyson Daniels. He's fast, and that's really hard. It's really hard to keep with De'Aaron Fox because he's so fast. Dyson Daniels is fast. He's lengthy. And we're targeting first half specifically because De'Aaron Fox is a second half player. Over his career, and especially this year he's averaging 3 more shots in the second half and 3 more points, even though he plays the same amount of minutes. He actually plays less minutes in the second half, but he's really looking for a shot in the second half. When it gets down to the game, he's not trying to give the ball to Sabonis, let him do all his little dribble handoff, get it to Kevin Huerter, let Kevin Huerter take a fadeaway 3, contest it. No. De'Aaron Fox is like, give me the ball, get out the way, right? So I'm taking first half specifically because of the player and also because of the matchup. Dyson Daniels is really good. He's probably the best perimeter from the NBA, like I said. So I paired those 2 with CJ Stroud and Nico Collins, both under yards. Okay? What I'm taking advantage of here is a strategy called correlation. I can take CJ Stroud and Nico Collins, combine them both under yards, and still get a 10x. So if CJ Stroud goes under, we're assuming he goes under in this slip, obviously, right? instead of trying to find a fourth leg like Jimmy Butler over points, if I'm taking CJ Stroud under, another bet on the board automatically becomes like a 78% hit rate bet, and that's Nico Collins under yards. Nico accounts for 30% of CJ Stroud's yards. If you're going to take CJ Stroud under, you may as well take Nico under too, because the chances that they split are very low. The second bet I took, you can see it's a similar strategy. It's why I'm so profitable. I take advantage of strategies. I don't just bet with my gut, right? Is another four-leg power. I did CeeDee Lamb and Cooper Rush both under yards. It's the same thing. CeeDee Lamb accounts for like 34% of Cooper Rush's yards, okay? So if CeeDee Lamb is going under, I mean, if Cooper Rush is only throwing for 150 tonight, or he gets benched for Trey Lance, or they're running the ball with Rico really well, whatever it may be, that affects CeeDee Lamb a lot, right? Cooper Rush goes under, CeeDee Lamb goes under. They're correlated. I can get them both for 10x still. And then De'Aaron Fox under 16.5. Again, I already explained it. That's my favorite play on the NBA board. More than likely, it's between him and Turner, honestly. And then Josh Giddey over 26.5 fantasy. I know it's at 27.5 now. I'd still take it. Giddey's over this line and over 20. I'm going to do the math with 22.5 PRA or the explanation because it's the same kind of thing. He's over this in 75% of starts this year when averaging 20-plus minutes, and he's averaging 26.5 PRA in those games, which is like equivalent to like 30-something fantasy. Now, Detroit's not a great matchup. They play slow and they play good defense, but this is more so just about this line's way too low. In his last two games, Giddey played 15 and 21 minutes because of massive blowouts in both. Didn't play a single lick of minutes in the fourth quarter in either game. And he's missed it, he's only missed this when playing 20 minutes 3 times this year. One of them he shot 20%. One of them he hooked. And the other one I think he shot like 28%, and he still ended with 20. So, I mean, it's just way too low. He does a little bit of everything, we know that. And he's also a tough matchup just because he's so big and how he plays. So, I like the 26.5 fantasy. Turner gone. I would take Turner PRA. Why is your PP mini not updated since November 8th? I reached out to the company that helped me make them, but I'm pretty sure it's solely because PrizePicks has just been so good at trading their board, meaning like adjusting their lines. So there's been nothing profitable. Because for something to be profitable on PrizePicks, that has to be like better than minus 125 fair value. So that means it has to be like minus 150. And you're not just going to find those on PrizePicks oftentimes because everything's a goblin. Like, Brendan Aubrey field goal makes is minus 130, okay? Minus 130. That's not fair value. That's before you even account for VIG. And it's a goblin. So, PrizePicks is just really good at anything that's even close to profitable. Just throw a fucking green goblin on it, and it automatically becomes not profitable. The way you beat PrizePicks is by taking advantage of the correlation stuff that I'm doing right now. And fantasy score because you can't price that compared to a sportsbook, etc. Okay, it's 2:59. If anyone has any more questions, ask them. I'm about to head out of here. You can stay on the stream though. The Dead Prez, who's super good. He does a lot of sportsbook stuff. I'm more of like a DFS guy. Dead Prez is coming on at 3. I believe at least. But I'll stick around for a couple minutes and see if anyone has any questions. Damn, Alex. I told you look like you were in high school and that's my new profile picture for you. Is a 27.5 bump on Giddey? Yeah, that's fine. If you can take 22.5 PRA, I might prefer that, honestly. Alex, I just made that my profile picture. See, there's my boy Dead Prez. All right.
Yoo-hoo. What up, man?
I'm gonna read the Twitter chat one more time, and then I'm gonna pass it off to him. Can you untime me out, please? You probably deserved it. I don't know what you said. Yeah, take the 27.5 bump on Giddy. That's it for me. Passing it off to Dead Prez. What's there to do about turnout being up? Take PRA. All right, I'm out of here. I'm already a minute into Dead Prez's time. Dead Prez, have a good stream, my guy.
Great job, brother. Appreciate it.
Yep. Yep.
All
See
right,
you
take care.
guys. If you have any questions, just DM me on Twitter or anything, okay? Deuces.
All right, what's going on, everyone? Great job from Zeke. Watch most of that live stream. If you don't know me, Matt McEwen from Dead Prez Picks, jumping on here to break down mostly Monday Night Football, but want to take all your guys' questions as well. We'll leave the live stream open to everyone with the comments, and we'll dive into it. We'll get into some of my favorite props, my favorite game picks, and a bunch of other stuff as the stream goes along. We could also talk some NBA. We'll piece together some parlays here live on the live on the stream as well. So let's get into it. And if you guys have any comments, like I said, throw them in the comments section. If you guys have any questions on your games, also I want you guys to let me know what you're on. We could build a little people's parlay in here as well. Always love doing that with the group chat. So whatever we got going on, let's do it. I'm going to share my screen for most of this, guys. I'm going to share DraftKings where we're going to build up some of these lineups for tonight. Also going to share some of my odds checker plus EV bets that I have for tonight, as well as the betting splits for this game. So we'll kind of just work through everything and make this as good as we can. What's going on, bro? Some people in the chat. So let's get into it first, where I will share my DraftKings screen, and we could look at some of these bets that we are going to get into for tonight's games. So now we should be mostly DraftKings. Hopefully you guys could see that good. I know it might be a little bit small for some people, but let's do it. Let's dive into it. I am going to tweet this out real quick, so just bear with me for 1 second. Make sure everyone can hop on who wants to get on the stream. And let's do a Monday Night Football picks. All right. So here we go. All right. So looking at this game tonight, we will build a couple parlays also as we go along here. Mostly what I want to get into first is the side that I'm looking at in this game and who I like. Know a lot of people probably aren't going to love this pick, but we're going to ride with the Dallas Cowboys. If you could look at this one right now, 7.5 points in this spot. Last week was rough watching them against my Eagles. I actually bet on them, and anyone who's followed me knows I'm a diehard Eagles fan, so that was tough to watch, but or tough to bet, and ultimately also lost the bet. But I do think Dallas finds a way to stay competitive in this game tonight. I think that they're going to be able to do enough in this spot to compete at home, and ultimately the line here only being 7.5. Houston's coming off a couple losses. Offensively this year, they've been up and down. C.J. Stroud has not had as good of a season as we are accustomed to seeing. So I think that Dallas is the best bet from a spread standpoint. I'll have an article out with a full breakdown of this as well. But let's make a parlay first. So I'm gonna blast this out real quick, and then we will dive into this parlay. But I'm going to tweet this out and so people can hop in the stream. If you guys have any comments while I'm doing this, let me know. Let me know if you guys are liking this, who you guys are putting in your parlays tonight. But let's do it. Let's dive into it. All right. So a couple of the parlays now on my on the screen here. It might not show the odds, but I'm also building this on my phone, so I will update you guys with the odds. I'm not sure why it's not letting me see on the betting slip, but nonetheless, let's dive into it and walk through who I'm liking tonight. All right, so the game script is going to be negative, in my opinion, for Dallas. So while I like them to cover, I think Houston plays most of the game ahead. So that's what I mean when I say negative game script. They're going to be trailing for the majority of this game. What I think that's going to lead to is a lot of passing opportunities, and there's no one on the field better than CeeDee Lamb. And, his last couple games, they've been down games. Main reason for that being that Cooper Rush has been in a quarterback. So that's the reason he's struggled a bit lately. With that being said, I think CD at 70+ receiving yards tonight holds a lot of value. So if you're looking at this one, 70+ at plus 150, like I said, there's really no one else on the field that they can trust offensively. And Lamb, if you look at his numbers, the last couple weeks, he has combined for 68 yards the last 2 weeks. Prior to that, he has gone at least 60+ in every game this season. So he's been around this number. He's had a couple 70+ games. Negative game script, top option in the passing game. A lot of things favor a big game for CD tonight. So I think CD Lamb, big time performance at home, steps up for Dallas, and a little. Sorry, I had a comment under the tweet. Steps up for Dallas and delivers a big time performance. So that's where we're going to start with this one. CD at 70 plus. Second prop, Cooper Rush, right? I know we struggled big time last weekend, but again, the game script here I think is going to force him to throw. So 200 plus passing yards for Cooper Rush. Prior to that poor performance against the Eagles, when he did play a couple seasons ago, I thought he held his own. I think he's going to play well enough tonight to get to this number. And like I said, Dallas is going to have to throw. Now, another important thing to note with Dallas coming into this game, even before Cooper Rush, this is a team who has struggled to run the football. And if you look at their numbers this season, they've been bad running it. Rico Dowdle and Zeke Elliott have split the rushing game, but they've rushed for 83.7 points per game. That ranks second last in the NFL. The only team with less rushing yards per game is the Las Vegas Raiders. So Dallas has not been able to run. Even when Dak was playing at quarterback, they've had to throw the football to have any kind of success moving it. So with that paired with trailing tonight, Dallas is going to struggle. They're going to struggle to run. They're going to have to throw the ball early and often. That's going to open things up for Cooper Rush in this spot tonight. So Cooper Rush, 200 plus in the passing category, gets us currently to plus 320. Now, one player I do think that's going to be able to rush the football well in this game is going to be Joe Mixon. So Joe Mixon here, we're going to sip on a little bit of juice because his line's minus 185, but we're going to take him at 80 plus. So that'll get us up to plus 525. And that's going to be, now let's see where that gets us, plus 585. So that's going to be the third leg of this. Game script, again, for Mixon's going to match up well. I think Houston plays most of this game ahead, which means they're going to lean on the running game. And if you look at the numbers this year, a lot of C.J. Stroud love, which is completely warranted, but this has been a run-first offense for the majority of the season. So I think we're going to see a big-time rushing performance from Mixon. Game script's there, a lot of things to like in this game for Mixon. So that'll get us to our fourth leg, and here's where we're going to go to the touchdown score. So this is where the parlay gets a little crazy. And I do want to also say, if you want to stop there and go up plus 525, do it. I think that's perfectly acceptable to do that. Kind of a safer, quote-unquote, safer parlay kind of leg, as we see Cooper Rush's his prop just dropped a little bit to plus 175. But this is a guy that I've bet on a lot this year, and anyone who's watching, who's followed me this year knows Jake Ferguson. I've bet on him a lot, and he has continued to let me down. But he's plus 370 to score tonight, which I think is absurd that we are getting him a plus 370 to find the end zone. And if you look at the Cowboys snap count, so like I talked about, if you guys were on the stream last time, look at snap counts when you're looking at props. It's, in my opinion, the most important thing to look at. We obviously know CeeDee Lamb is going to get a lot of snaps. He's played an 83% the last couple of weeks. But at the tight end position, Jake Ferguson, since week 8, he played an 84% of snaps, 82, and then last week 75. But that was a blowout game, so he played in less than he's accustomed to. So this is a guy, when healthy, he's typically considered a top-tier tight end. I think at this value, at this price, it's essentially impossible to pass up on that. So I do think Ferguson finds his way into the end zone tonight at some point. Now, that will take us to a plus 3,000 parlay. So we're getting 30 to 1 odds on this if you lock it in. I believe the value is there. I think Ferguson is going to find a way. Like I said, if you don't want to take this all the way through with Ferguson, I don't, necessarily disagree with that fact that, you could go with that kind of quote unquote safer parlay. But I believe that there's a reason to jump in on this, and I think Ferguson will find his way into the end zone. What's going on, bro? Got 11 in the chat. What's up? Also got my guy Greek Locks in the chat. Yeah, we got to get back on the golf course, bro. Got to get back out there for sure. Trying to catch up on some other comments. Let me see.
Oh,
Jared,
there
the
you are. I
Wi-Fi
was
got
making sure. All right, cool.
Jared's got my back. Sorry about that.
Gotcha.
Yeah, you catching up with the other comments. Dalton over on receipt. Yeah, I like that, the Dalton Schultz angle. Texans props tonight I think are interesting. I've been, trying to kind of dive in and navigate who I like in this spot for Houston. Obviously getting Nico Collins back in line, but his props are high tonight. Like 80 plus is only minus 105. I actually like Weezy Bird there who commented that. I actually do like Schultz, but I like his receptions. If I'm looking at that, I don't necessarily trust his yards in this spot. So we just had a bunch of comments there. Tank Dell fantasy score. Yeah, Tank Dell fantasy score will cash. Yeah, I think Tank Dell might be the best prop tonight. And if you want to sip a little juice in this spot, his receptions right now on DraftKings, his receptions are actually they're up to minus 170. I got it at minus 155 this morning. Not something, I really love. I'm just going to reshare the screen with you guys. Not something I love doing, kind of sipping that kind of juice in this spot. But with that said, I do think there's a pretty easy way for him to find it. What's going on, bro? What's going on at 11? Yeah, DubClub, DubClub Invitational for some golf. But all right, so there's my first parlay. If you guys just hopped in, this was the first parlay that I built. Cooper Rush, 200 plus passing yards. Joe Mixon, 80 plus rushing yards, and then Jake Ferguson, anytime touchdown. And then also we had CeeDee Lamb for 80 plus receiving yards. So that one is a lot of value. That's a ton of value that we can get on this prop. Let me just make sure because I'm throwing this together as well on my phone. So yeah, it's 30 to 1 right now if you guys want to hop on that. So one more time for the people watching, Mixon 80 plus, Cooper Rush 200 plus, Ferguson end zone, and CeeDee Lamb 80 plus rush yards at plus 220. So there's one leg that you guys could throw in tonight. If you want to just kind of mix and match using some of those picks, whatever you guys want to do, but hopefully that helps you guys out with one of those lays. All right, we'll get back in. We'll build another parlay, but first I kind of just want to look at this game. I want to give you guys some of my plus EV props. Anyone in here who's into plus EV, make sure you guys check this little segment out. I think it helps out a lot. So let me stop sharing this screen and let me start sharing this screen in this game tonight. All right, so what we're looking at here is the oddschecker.com/US positive EV tool. If you're unfamiliar with what plus EV is, we're looking at the AI probability versus the implied probability, and that's going to get us our expected value for any bet. So as you can see, insane value tonight on Jalen Tolbert to find the end zone, one of the wide receivers for Dallas, scored 3 of his last 10 games. Personally, I always sprinkle anything whenever I see the EV this high, just unbelievably high numbers there, and the value is absurd. But this is the one I want to focus on. CeeDee Lamb tonight, guys, is plus 260 to score a touchdown. I don't care if I'm playing quarterback. That's crazy. CeeDee Lamb should never be plus 260 to score. Real quick, want to hit a comment. Would you take the under for Cooper Rush rushing yards? Yeah, what's that at? What's Cooper Rush's prop? That's what I would first ask because I don't know what it's at, but I would assume yes. If it's something like super low, like 2.5, I'd be careful with it. And also be careful with the attempts. Someone was DMing me yesterday. They had, I forget which quarterback it was, but lost on the kneels at the end of the game. That is something you always have to watch at the end of games when these quarterbacks just sit on it at the end and they kneel it out. It's brutal, but I have lost multiple bets like that. But yeah, let me know what that number is at, and then I can kind of give you more of a answer there just because I don't know. I've not looked at that total honestly yet. Okay, so back to the EV bet though. Listen, like I was saying, CeeDee Lamb to score a touchdown is plus 260. This is just something you don't typically see with Lamb. Obvious reason being Cooper Rush isn't a quarterback tonight. But the Eagles defense is playing really well. When they shut them down 34-6, it was a horrific performance. Cooper Rush threw for 45 yards in that game. Nothing worked for Dallas. I believe CeeDee Lamb ended with less than 20 yards. Let me see his exact line. Yes, CeeDee Lamb ended with 21 yards, 6 catches for 21 yards. Bottom line is they're going to get, at some point, they're going to get close, to the end zone. They're going to find a way to move the football, better than they did against Philadelphia. I think that the value here is just absurd. And the other thing with Lamb, once you get the ball in his hands, it doesn't matter who's playing quarterback, right? Just get it in his hands, let him create. So I think they're going to do a lot of shorter passes to CD. But in the red zone, we've been talking about this. This is an offense who is horrific at running the football, pre-Dak injury. It's been Rico Dowdle and Zeke Elliott. Dowdle hasn't rushed for a touchdown all season. And Zeke Elliott has 2 rushing touchdowns. So this is an offense that they haven't been able to run no matter what. So if Dallas is going to be scoring tonight, it's going to be in the passing game. And I think there's a really good chance that if it's in the passing game, it's going to be Lamb tonight. So that's the play that I'm looking at. CD Lamb right there, plus 260. Best odds right now on FanDuel. The expected value on that, 81.12%. A lot of Jalen Tolbert props tonight. And like I said, I like it. I like a lot of receiving yards, receptions, a lot of those kind of props over for Dallas because they're gonna be trailing, which is gonna make them throw, and they can't run the ball. So 2 things that you really want when you're looking at these kind of props, whether it's gonna be CD, whether it's gonna be Ferguson, whether it's gonna be Tolbert. I do think that Dallas has a lot of guys who hold value in this spot tonight. There's more Tolbert plays if you're looking for those. So if you're looking at this, again, check this out, guys. Definitely would recommend using it. Gonna have a Black Friday sale on this soon, but this is all really good information that you guys can kind of put towards your daily betting stuff. Also want to look at the public betting splits on this game tonight for anyone interested in that. No surprise here. The Texans, 74% of the bets. Money line wise, I don't know who's betting minus 340 on the money line straight, but maybe in some parlays, 93%. And then the total, the public likes the over, but the sharp play here is under 40.5. That is a low total. So points are going to be at a premium tonight. At least the sports books think so. And we'll see, because Dallas defensively ranks second to last in the NFL in points allowed per game. Big time fall off for this Dallas defense. So there's a couple thoughts on those games. And now we'll go back to DraftKings and look at some more props and see what else we can cook up for you guys. So I will switch up the screens once again. So let's go back here to DraftKings and get back into this. All right. Long shot touchdowns. Let's talk about this market. I think John Mechie at 30-1 is insane value. I know Nico Collins is coming back tonight, but I think this is a guy he's going to be on the field, right? We know that this is a young receiver, unbelievable skill set. Just happens to play on a really good team. With Stephon Diggs going down, obviously going to see an expanded role. But let's look at snap counts real quick. So in terms of snap counts, John Mechie in week 8 played 28% of snaps. The last 2 weeks, he played 63% and he played 64%. That means the volume's there again for Mechie. And what he's known for is being a big play receiver. This is a guy who, in terms of his best role in their offense, it's going to be to kind of be that deep ball, deep threat wide receiver. So in this game tonight, I believe that we're going to see Mechie on the field maybe more than the books are thinking. And, his ability to kind of take the top off the defense. And like I said, Dallas ranked second to last in points scored. So don't expect, if the Texans are able to move the football pretty consistently tonight. Another angle that could play in here is this game could get away from Dallas. And, a guy like Mechie might see even more snaps in this spot. So at this is 30-1 just to find the end zone. This isn't a first time. This isn't a 2-time. This is 1 touchdown out of Mechie tonight. I think at this price, it's well worth it. The Dallas defense has better odds to score than Mechie. I think that's ridiculous. So good value there on him to score tonight. Another guy, like we were just talking about, Jalen Tolbert, I think could find the end zone at some point. Plus 370. Jake Ferguson, we talked about him at plus 370. And a couple other players that I'm looking at for long shots. How about Cade Stover? Someone threw him in the live stream I was in earlier. Texans tight end. I want to pull up again the snap counts because I was looking more into this. Stovers can continue to see an uptick in snap counts as the season's gone along. Week 1, he played in 19%. Last week, he played in 43%. Dalton Schultz is still the tight end 1 on that team, but listen, down in the red zone, anything could happen. So I think Stover has some value there as well to score tonight. So that's another guy that you guys could take a look at. If you are in the live stream also, let me know who else. Yeah, legit. Yeah, it is. He's starting to get some value. 1.5 rush yards is Cooper Rush. Oh, boy. Yeah, that's a little scary. That's a little scary, to be honest. I'm not gonna lie. This takes one scramble there. This is not college where a sack goes against you. I might lay off of that. I think there's better plays on the board, but if you're feeling confident, maybe take that under. Yeah, we'll see. All right, let's talk a little. What do you guys want to switch it up to? Because I don't want to talk too much about just NFL. We could switch it up to NBA. I will. Let me tweet out a little NBA preview here. Share broadcast. Let's do it. All right, NBA best bets for tonight. Okay. All right, so let's go to NBA and let me share my screen. So we'll cook up a little NBA parlay. Let's do this again. Again, if you're in the comments, let me know who you like on these games tonight, because we're actually going to cook up one right now. But then let me know if there's any game you guys want me to talk about or your guys' thoughts on these, because there is a couple of props I really like. We're going to start with a prop that maybe not everyone loves because it's an under. We're actually going to take 2 unders in this parlay, so watch out. But Jarrett McCain, he's on my Philadelphia 76ers, rookie out of Duke. Listen, he's kind of taking the league by storm. One of the favorites right now to win Rookie of the Year. He's been outstanding, but he's gone over this number in his last 3 games. The way I bet, I actually got kind of going against these trends. And if you look at his stats, his numbers now, Joel Embiid is not playing in this game tonight. Just something to note for that. But McCain has been unbelievable. I don't think anyone expected him to be this good this quick. He's averaging about 15 points per game. But just look at his last few games and what he's been able to do. McCain has scored 29 points, 34, 23, 27. So he's actually gone over this number in 4 straight games. Prior to that, he scored 18. He has a 19-point game. Any game where he's seen volume, he's putting up big-time numbers. And you might ask why we're going to go away from this and the under tonight. I don't know if he's going to be able to continue to shoot the ball at this clip. 31 minutes in his last game out, 38 prior, 30, 30, 31. So his minutes have taken a extreme jump. For reference, in game 2 of the season, he played in 3 minutes. And rightfully so. Some of this is to do with injury, right? Tyrese Maxey out of the lineup, which is kind of giving McCain more of an opportunity early in the season. But he's been great. I just believe that this number has crept up too high, 21.5 here. I think that we're getting pretty good value on the under. So that's where we're going to start this parlay. Again, I'll build this on my phone as well, because for some reason the odds sometimes don't pop up on the live share screen. So just give me a sec so I can I could throw these on at the same time. Points, Kane. Okay. So that'll be leg 1. Now leg 2, again, it's an under. I know these aren't fun, but sometimes these are the best ways to make money, guys. And Franz Wagner here, we're looking at his under. And Wagner has been, talk about a player who's been unbelievable this year. 27.5 points. Okay, it is building right now. 27.5 points for Franz right now is his total tonight. Exceptionally high number. One reason his number's been a bit inflated, obviously Paolo Banchero out of the lineup. And Franz has been great against this number also as of late. He's averaging 22.2 on the season. But if you look at his game logs and what he's kind of done since the Banchero injury, he's really stepped it up. He also has a couple games in there where, he just didn't play that well because of some limitations there. Only played in 11 minutes against the Pacers where he scored 7 points. Post that, just look at his last few games. 22 points, 28, 27, 23, 32, 29, 31. He has scored 30 points or more in 2 of his last 3 games. Big-time minutes, big-time production. Going up against the Suns team tonight, who's been better this season defensively, I just think it's a tough spot for the Magic in general. And I believe that we're getting pretty good value here. I mean, this would take another big-time performance. I think we're due for a little bit of regression out of Wagner tonight. So give me Franz on the under there for the first 2 legs of this parlay. All right, we'll carry on here, and we're going to go to a late-night game. The Sacramento Kings taking on the Atlanta Hawks. So we're going to go to player points, we're going to player rebounds for this one. This was the one that I'm going rebounds. And another under, but rebound unders I usually get less people upset with. But we're going to go Trey Lyles. So let's pull this up. I have multiple DraftKings open, so that's why I was pulling up the wrong one. All right, Stick with me here. Okay, under 7.5 for Lyles. All right, so that's going to get us to 516. This is another play. The plus EV tool I was just showing you guys, they love this play tonight. I like this play tonight. Lyles has not gone over this number often this season at all. He's actually gone over this number once all year, and it was against Timberwolves. Now, he's seen an expanded role due to injuries the last couple of games. He typically plays about 18 minutes a game. The last 2 games combined, though, he has actually logged, 76 minutes over his last 2 games. So his volume has been there. It's been a big uptick in volume for him as of late. Again, a lot of that has to do with the fact that there have been some major injuries sprinkled in there for the Kings. With all that said, just think this number's too high. I still think, even if he plays 35 minutes in this game, still guys out there who match up better, in my opinion, on the glass. Whenever Sabonis is out of the lineup, he's the guy who's going to take up a lot of those rebounds. I think Keegan Murray at 8.5 at plus money. I actually do like his over tonight as well. But you're also going against Clint Capella in the paint, one of the best offensive rebounders in basketball. So a lot to like with the under of Lyles tonight for leg 3. Now, if you want to lock this in, again, this is plus 516. This is very similar to what I just did with the NFL. If you want to go with, even if you just want to go with 2 of these, take Lyles off of this and just go with these 2 unders and get plus 230. Be my guest. Want to offer a variety of options. But we're going to first build this 4-leg parlay and then go from there. We're going to look at this game against the Bulls and the Pistons, and we're going to get a player assists and take Zach LaVine to get 4 assists tonight. So that'll get us over 10-1 odds here. If you bet $10 on this, you win 111. If you bet 100 on this, you win a little over 1,000. If you bet 1,000 on this, you get real crazy. You win 11 grand. So whatever you want to do, if you bet $1, you win 11 bucks. Whatever you want to do, this is a parlay I highly suggest locking in for tonight. And this is another pick that I got from my OddChecker EV tool. Love the value on this play tonight. But let's look at the stats of LaVine this season. From an assist standpoint, he had 1 assist his last game out. Prior to that, 9 assists and 8 assists in back-to-back games. His volume has really been there this season. Now, he only played 26 minutes. They got blown out last night against the Houston Rockets. So they're coming off a really bad loss. Sour taste in their mouth tonight. We should see a better performance from the Bulls. But with that said, skewed numbers last night. He only had 15 points in that game as well. But offensively, while we know LaVine is a big-time scorer, the way he's played as a playmaker this year, it's been, a much improved version of Zach LaVine offensively. The Bulls play at a pretty good pace. It's a team that likes to shoot a lot of threes. So I think LaVine's going to find a way. He's going to have the ball in his hands a lot. He's their top playmaker offensively. But I like him to be able to dish out at least 4 assists tonight. So there is that parlay. You want to take a screenshot, whatever you want to do with it. It's Jarrett McCain of the Philadelphia 76ers under 21.5. Franz Wagner under 27.5. Trey Lyles under 7.5 rebounds of the Los Angeles Kings. And Zach LaVine of the Chicago Bulls over 3.5 assists at minus 125. So there's a couple options for you guys. Like I said, if you want to mess around with this and do a couple players to, have, or if you want to only take 2 legs of this, if you want to mix and match, you want to take these straight, whatever you want to do, lock these in. I really do think that these plays have some value tonight. All right, let's go back, and I'm just going to reshare this for anyone new hopping in as well. Just give me 1 second to get this one out. Rockets money line. Lock it in. Okay. All right. Franz Wagner. Got a couple people saying Franz Wagner over 10.5 rebounds and assists. All right. As long as he's not scoring points, Bo. As long as he's not scoring points. Might take it. Might take the I think might take that Cooper Rush under. Yeah. That would be interesting. Now I'm going to be locked in on Cooper Rush's under. Yeah, Keegan Murray, I think his rebounds. I actually like his over tonight. I think he takes up most of those Sabonis boards. Sharp Bros, what's up, bro? Rockets money line. Lock that in. All right, looking at that. Did not have a play for that game. Maybe I'll ride with that. Bucks have been a train wreck this season, so not going against that one too much. All right, we will dive in. We'll keep talking a little NBA for a minute, but I'm going to switch back and give you guys a little breakdown on the betting splits tonight, and then we'll go back to NBA briefly. Let's just look at the public betting splits for these games. All right, so back with this, our OddChecker betting splits tool. Check this out if you have not. Going to give you guys a little action on all these games tonight. That one comment keeps coming in where it like spams. There's like 7 comments at once. Pistons, didn't know we'd see the day. You know, the Pistons. I want to talk about the Pistons for 2 seconds. I actually think this team's a lot better, than most people think. And this season, picked up some. I've written a lot of articles about the Pistons this season. 7 and 8, like they've been very average. This was a team that had the worst season ever in the history of their franchise last season. So big time improvements, I think, early in the year. And I think this team could be like if the Pistons make a playing game, I don't think it would be that surprising. JB Bickerstaff, formerly of the Cleveland Cavaliers, the team who's had a lot of regular season success the last couple of years, he's been pretty good. I think you got to give him credit. I think you got to give the Pistons credit for what they've done so far this season. So I think breaking down this team, it's not that typical Pistons team where you're just kind of like and brush them off. This is a team who could be in a play-in position this year. Not saying a ton, but that's saying a lot after last season. Another game, Sixers. As a Sixer fan, it has been a nightmare start to the season between injuries. Just not playing well. That line's up to 6.5 though. Miami on that money line at -205. Don't really have anything in that game. Pacers and the Raptors. There's some betting splits for that. This one shocked me a little bit that the public was all over Washington. It's rare to see that. But 73% of the bets. I mean, I guess when you see a big spread like 14.5, scare some people away. Laying off that game. This is the game that we were just talking about. Rockets, a bit of a public dog here. Sharp money is going on the Bucks right now in that spot. That's a tough call. I do like the Suns tonight. Taking on the Magic. That's another late night game. We were just talking about the props in that one. Kings also. I think the Kings are still in a good spot. You still got Fox in the lineup. I know they have some key injuries, but still think they match up pretty well here against Atlanta if you want some late night action. And then I think this is going to be a game where the Clippers get it done. Warriors off to a really strong start this season. 4.5 though. Too many points, my opinion, for the Clips at home. So give me the Clippers to take care of business in that spot. So just a couple of leans that I have for those NBA games tonight. Let me see this. For these games. All right. We'll go back. We have I am going to be on for about another 20 minutes or so. So we've walked through a lot of the NFL slate for tonight. I'm actually going to use a little bit of time here to talk a little college football. We have Maction tomorrow, but we're getting closer and closer and closer to the college football playoffs. I want to talk a little bit about the games this weekend. If you guys want to talk any Maction, feel free to hop in there. But I want to talk briefly about some of these college football games this weekend because I think there's a couple games that we should be looking ahead to right now. And that's what I want to do with these next 20 minutes or so that I have on the stream. So let me just share this with the people right now. If anyone wants to hop on to talk a little CFB, and then we'll dive into it. Let's get into the CFB weekend bets. There's a couple games on here, guys, that I'm super fired up for. Big week this week. So got some upsets. Finally, BYU lost. I was on Kansas in that game. If you guys were on that one with me, they locked up a big time 16-1 parlay for us. So shout out to the Jayhawks for getting it done. I gamble daily, saying Kate Cunningham and Jaden Ivey are sleeper solid players for them. Yeah, they've both been great to start the season. I think Cam has been Cade. Sorry, Cade's been really strong for them, and Ivey's coming along. Big time college player, but he's been great. Bring on Tommy G. I'd love to have Tommy G on. That's my guy. All right, we'll talk a little college football here as we look ahead to the weekend. One game, as I'm scrolling past all these beautiful MAC games, one game I want to talk about. It's going to be the most talked about game of the weekend: the Indiana Hoosiers and the Ohio State Buckeyes. That's the game I want to focus on. Let me switch my screen back here to DraftKings, and then we'll talk a little bit about this game. All right, we're going to pull up multiple things on this one. I do want to see the betting splits for this too on OddsChecker because I have to imagine – my gut tells me Indiana is going to be an overwhelming public dog and sharper money is going to go on Ohio State, but we'll see. Can Army pull it off this weekend? I don't know. I'm hopeful. Let's talk this one through real quick. Ohio State hosting Indiana. this is a huge game, right, for both of these teams. If Ohio State loses this game, there is a chance they're slightly putting themselves in jeopardy of the college football playoffs. If Ohio State loses 2 games, they're in all likelihood still going to make it. Next weekend, Ohio State has Michigan. That's always the game of the year for the Buckeyes. It is so sad looking at the college football schedule and realizing like Ohio State has 2 regular season games left. Where's the time go? This season has flown. But Indiana has been unbelievably good this year. They're the story of college football, right? And they could lose this game, and they could still make the college football playoffs. If they go 10-1, I really do hope the committee still gives them an opportunity to get in. One thing to note is if you're looking at the standings in the Big Ten, right now, as of current day, if Indiana wins this game, they are going to play in the Big Ten championship, assuming that they take care of Purdue, who's the worst team in the conference at home. They're going to win that game. So this game's essentially for who is going to play Oregon in the Big Ten championship. Again, understanding the fact that Ohio State still has Michigan. Penn State's still in the conversation. Penn State lost the head-to-head against Ohio State. That's why that loss was so crucial for them. But if Penn State does find a way to win that game, or if Penn State finds a way to win out and Ohio State loses this game, they could find a way to reinsert themselves in this conversation. But bottom line is the winner of this game is likely going to play Oregon in the Big Ten championship. But this spread is what I'm focused on. It's at 12.5. And whenever you see 5 versus 2 and a 12.5 spread, you just got to think to yourself, it almost looks too good to be true with Indiana. There's some places out there right now with 13. I won't be shocked if this line closes 13.5 or 14. And I think it still shows the talent gap. As great of a story as Indiana's been, as fun of a team as they've been, it's still a complete mismatch here in talent. Ohio State, they're ranked second in the nation. Their lone loss came in a thriller against Oregon in a total coin flip game. I think Ohio State blows them out. And I hate to say it because I've really enjoyed the story of Kurt Cignetti of Indiana. But I also would say this with, I hope Indiana still gets in if they end the season with 1 loss. I believe they should still get in if they end 11-1. But don't be shocked if they really do go down, the rankings a bit here. One thing you do have to remember, the 4 conference champions are the ones who get the bye. And then there's also a non-power conference team. So there's 5 automatic bids, and then there's going to be 7 kind of at-large bids. So they are putting themselves in a bit of, risk with a loss. If it's a competitive loss, I think then they should definitely be safe. But if they get blown out, like I think they could get blown out in this game, it'll get interesting for the Hoosiers. But they should be secure. You just never know, how that's all going to shape out. We will see the college football playoff standings come back out. BYU just knocked themselves out. I don't think BYU is going to have much of a chance. If they'll have the chance to win the division, but if they or the conference. But I think the Big 12 has become a 1 bid league. I think if BYU won that game, won out, and then Colorado won, or someone else won the Big 12, there was a chance they were going to be a 2 bid league. But at this point, I think it's going to be the Buffs and the Cougars battling it out, and the winner of that game will find their way in. Arizona State into the top 25. Iowa State also into the top 25 out of the conference, but I don't think either of those teams really have much of a shot. So a couple of those games that I'm looking at this weekend that are going to be key. Another one is that BYU and Arizona State game. Arizona State's actually a favorite again against BYU. It is at Arizona State. But also look at Colorado and Kansas. I think that game's going to be really interesting this weekend. I'll pull that one up. 3:30 start. We're going to Kansas for that game. Kansas feels good, right? They just knocked off BYU on the road. And this is a Kansas team. People continue to forget this. They were ranked coming into the season. They just had a couple poor performances. It's still a good team. Colorado is going to be tested. And if Colorado wins this game, they're going to play in the Big 12 championship. They have a game with Oklahoma State on deck, who has had a miserable season. It's in Boulder. They're going to win that game. This is the game they have to win. And if they win this, they're going to make, and it sounds insane to say this, but the Big 12 championship. I hope there's some people. I have them in a couple futures where I have them to win the conference, but I do not have a straight ticket with Colorado. I just have a few where I have them, mixed and match with a few other teams. So there are a couple bets that I think we could throw in and lock in this weekend early. I think there's a lot of value on those 2 bets, but we'll see. There's a lot of time to tell. With the college football players, a lot could still happen. But bottom line, it's going to be thrilling watching these playoffs and getting to actually watch these teams perform, the round one being on campus. I think that's such a great ad by the committee. So a couple games that I'm looking at, I think Colorado does get it done though. -3 and -108. We know how great Schnoyer's been. We know the improvements the defense has made this season. So Ohio State and Colorado, two teams, two big games to look at. Little Maction for tomorrow. I'll throw out Northern Illinois again. I think Northern Illinois, they had that notable win. Everyone knows about that win over Notre Dame at the time. They find their way into the top 25. They've struggled a bit, but I will say with the way this line is, it reminds me a lot of a line that I saw a couple weeks ago on Northern Illinois when they played Western Michigan. Very similar in the lines. Only seeing a 2.5 point spread. Miami, Ohio has been very good. 6-4 overall, 5-1 in the conference. Northern Illinois is 3-3 in the conference. Miami, Ohio right now is in first place in the MAC. So this is a massive game for them. If they could take care of business here, they do have to go to Bowling Green, who's also been really good in the conference this season. The MAC's always fun to kind of watch it shake out. But I think Northern Illinois, the line says that they're going to get this done. Akron and Kent State, I would lean towards the under in that one. Kent State offensively this season, Kent State in general, it's been a miserable season. They're 0-10, but offensively, they've been brutal. They've scored 7 points in the last 2 weeks. They have multiple games this season where they've been shut out, which is never good. They've been shut out this season 3 times. They've had multiple games this season where they've scored a touchdown or less. So it's been a miserable year for Kent State. Yeah, they have not been able to win one game all season. They lost 71-0 against Tennessee and 56-0 against Penn State. So the season has not gone the way of Kent State. And Akron's not great themselves. They're 2-8. So I think if you look at both these teams offensively, there have been a lot of struggles. And I would lean towards the under in this spot at 49. That number to me is just too high. And then Western Michigan and Central Michigan, always a good one. These two teams, not a lot of love for each other. 5-5 record for Western Michigan this year. I thought they were going to be a little bit better, honestly, entering the season. Really struggled in that loss last week, but they're 4-2 in the conference. Technically, if they could rip off a win here and get a little bit of help, a lot would have to shake out in their favor. But last weekend, man, they looked bad. They looked really bad against Bowling Green offensively. They've lost 2 in a row. I would lean, though, back to the Broncos in that game if I had to go anywhere in that spot. So a couple of bets to look at. If you want to make a little MAC parlay on what I just said, you would get a plus 652 lay. If you want to mash them all together and see what we could get with those 3 legs, maybe to take advantage of that. All right, well, I got a few more minutes, guys. I'll try to see. I know we had a bunch of comments during the stream. I didn't want to talk too long about NFL, so I just thought it'd be good to switch it up a little bit and talk a little bit of Maction. Yeah, it's always chaos. The Maction card's always a little bit of chaos. That's always what we get, with the Mac. It's always good where we can get that. We'll go back to NFL, guys, for the last few minutes. Anyone in the live stream, if you have any questions on any games or just want to throw out your favorite bet, I know we've had a ton of people hopping in and out of here between my stream and Zeke's stream. Looks like we're around almost 9,000 people over the last hour, which is awesome. So we really appreciate everyone who's hopped in. But if you're still currently in the stream and want to throw out a pick or two, let us know. And we'll kind of dive in and see if I could help you guys out on that. I'm trying to think of anything else that I did not plug. How about a little first touchdown scorer? We didn't talk a ton about this. We'll go with a quick first touchdown for the next few minutes, and then get to any comments if you guys do have them. My first touchdown bet for tonight, I'm going to be riding. I put these out. CeeDee Lamb. I know I've been talking about him extensively. 12-1 odds to score a touchdown. Not that crazy for CeeDee to get in first. Where they would need the help in this spot is getting the football first, because Houston, we've been talking about this, Dallas defensively, second worst team in football. It's been a year from hell for them. Some of that has to do with the injuries, right? Micah Parsons has been down a bit. He struggled with injuries. They should still be better as a defense. It's still been a pretty pathetic effort defensively from Dallas. So let's just hope that the ball first, lands in their hands and that they can drive their way down the field and throw to the 88. But again, CeeDee Lamb's lines all over the place tonight are crazy. I get it that Cooper Rush is playing quarterback. it's still CeeDee Lamb. He's still a premier wide receiver, still top 5 wide receiver in football. 12-1 to score first. 250 to score at any point in the game. I know it's 215 on DraftKings, but it's 250 on FanDuel. And, 19-1 odds for him to score twice. The lines are crazy. I will also say, sprinkle Jake Ferguson. I know he's let us down this year if you followed us, but the volume has been there. Cooper Rush, offensively, like we were just talking about with the options, they're very limited in the run game. So I don't believe it's going to be Rico Dowdle. I don't believe it's going to be Zeke Elliott. Where it could be is if we get like a PI in the end zone and the ball in the one. But I'm not betting on that to happen. I feel more confident saying if the Cowboys get into the red zone, they're going to do it throwing the football, and they're going to ultimately score throwing the football. So I think Ferguson also holds some value. Now, if you want to take a Texan first, because like I said, they get the ball first, I took Nico Collins to score anytime tonight. I also do believe that he can find his way into the end zone first. But don't sleep on the value there of Tank Dell as well at plus 950. Just because Nico's back in the lineup does not mean they're just going to stop using Tank Dell, right? Tank Dell's had a really productive season. CJ Stroud trusts him in the red zone, even though he's an undersized receiver, gets a lot of tick in the red zone, gets a lot of snaps. But Nico is the top guy. When they go in the red zone, Nico's that big wide receiver that they rely on a little bit more in the red zone for some of these options. So I do like the value most on Nico tonight to find the end zone. All right, so there's a couple of picks that I really do like to find the end zone first for tonight. And that's basically it for me with NFL. I don't think there are any other NBA picks that I did not give out. Just looking through the slate here. We did get some Rockets love. That line, though, is interesting with the Bucks and the Rockets, right? That one makes me think a little bit. Eventually I think the Bucks are going to turn it around. Make sure you guys note injuries. A lot of key players out tonight in the NBA in a lot of big games. Kings have multiple guys missing. Suns have multiple guys missing. Sixers always have multiple guys missing. Joel Embiid, I think now tonight he's sick. So that is the life of a Philly fan when you're kind of need your guys. You need your guys back in the lineup and they get sick. If they're not hurt this year, it's been injuries. There's been a lot of struggles for my Sixers so far this season. Injuries have not been very kind to us. But yeah, those are most of the football picks for me. Let me see. I'm just looking to see I had some notes on any other plays that I wanted to throw out. I just want to ask at the beginning of the stream about futures. So let me look real quick while I have like 5 minutes left. I wanted to see this because someone said Bo Nix. I don't know if this was, I think it was earlier in the stream. Bo Nix as the rookie of the year. Let's look at awards. It's crazy this has gotten closer because Jaden Daniels is like, all right, so there, okay, so he's still a pretty overwhelming favorite. Minus 400, no value betting Daniels at this point. But Bo Nix, look at that. He has shrunk those odds 3-1. Not great if you're a Caleb Williams ticket holder right now. 40-1 odds for him to win a Rookie of the Year. Malik Neighbors' odds really tanked too. How about the Giants turning to, I think it'll be Tommy DeVito back under center, right? Daniel Jones hitting the bench, feels a bit overdue there for the Giant faithful. I'm sure they're excited to get him on the bench. But yeah, let's look at that. Bo Nix 30. Yeah, listen, it's getting there. He's playing well enough. I think a lot would still have to go wrong for Daniels not to win. Daniels was up there for MVP too when I was 25-1. Yeah, his odds, I guess, back-to-back losses. He didn't look great last week or on Thursday night against the Eagles. That'll kind of shrink his odds a bit. But I think it's going to be Josh. I know he's the favorite, but I think it is going to be Josh. Jared Goff put himself back in. He put himself back in the conversation. Big-time performance after that 5-interception performance. My guy Jalen Hurts hanging out there at 12-1. I think it's going to be Lamar or Josh. Thing with Lamar, already's won a couple. It could be a little bit of the voter fatigue that steps in. Josh Allen's never claimed one, and he's playing like it. And the biggest thing with Allen this year, he's cut down on the turnovers. He's not making a lot of dumb throws. I know we had a turnover yesterday, and it was a dumb throw, but for the majority of the season, I think he only has 5 on the season. So. And he went the first, I want to say 6 or 7 weeks without throwing one. So he's actually kind of had a bit of an uptick over the last couple of weeks. But he's cut down the turnovers. I will say this. Look at Joe Burrow's odds. 20-1. If the Bengals were like 500, I think Joe Burrow would be the favorite to win MVP. He has been unbelievable this season. This is the best football I've ever seen Joe Burrow play, and they can't win because their defense is horrendous. Now, their defense stepped up. Very good performance in the second half. And if Evan McPherson could have kicked, they'd probably win that game. If he made either of those field goals, I think the Bengals win that one. What happened to him? Some of the kickers yesterday. Justin Tucker, he's on watched alert as well. He's really struggled this season. Did not think we would live to see the day this soon that Justin Tucker would start struggling with the kicks. But difference in that game last night. If McPherson makes one of those two field goals, they probably are at worst playing for overtime. I know Dobbins ultimately ripped off that run, but the game was over kind of before that run. So yeah, the Bengals they are an interesting team. It has been a unbelievably frustrating year. I want to see what are their odds right now to make the playoffs because I've been wanting. They're 350 to get in. Let me pull up these standings real quick. I still believe in the Bengals. So we get the top 7. So let's see playoff. Yeah, they're gonna need some help. So they're 2 games right now out of that playoff spot. But they will play Denver. So they have to play. I mean, their schedule gets easy. I think it gets pretty easy. They do have to play the Steelers at home next week. I bet they'll be a favorite in that game. I know that sounds crazy because Steelers are 8-2. But I bet they're going to be a slight favorite. But then they play the Cowboys. They play the Titans. They play the Browns. And then they had, that game with the Broncos could be huge, depending on what happens the next couple weeks. But they're going to need some help. And then they have to play at Pittsburgh the last week of the season. But by then, Pittsburgh will probably be clinched. So there's a chance you're going to see a backup quarterback, play that game. I don't think they're going to jump. The reason the value is so crazy, they could jump Denver, but the Colts are right there 5-6, and the Dolphins are right there 4-6. It's going to take a lot for them to jump a Charger team who's 7-3 or a Ravens team that's 7-4, and they probably should have beat the Ravens twice. So, they have had so many chances this season. Every one of their losses except one was by 1 score or less. They have been right there in every single game. And the one game that they lost by more than 1 score against the Eagles, that game was close until the fourth quarter. Philly pulled away at the end. So they've had some chances. Them and the Jets, I'd say two of the more disappointing teams in the AFC this season. But I do believe, I think at 350, they are worth a look. Don't even think about taking the Jets there at 30-1. And there's someone out there is thinking about it, but I'd stay away from the Jets for sure. I think their ship has sailed. And I've fallen for them. Listen, I've bet on them probably more times than I'm proud of this season, but their ship has sailed in that game in this season. And they will not be participating in the playoffs this season, unfortunately. For the New York faithful, the tough times live on if you're a Jets fan. It's been a rough year for them. So there's all my bets, guys. I am gonna hop out a little bit early tonight. I know Shear's gonna hop on to be our closer here, wrap up the last couple minutes of this. But I have to wrap it up a bit early. But had a great stream. Had a ton of people hopping in. Really enjoyed all the comments, the engagement. Hopefully that just continues to grow larger as we continue. Zeke did a great job with his first hour, and Shear's gonna dominate these last 5 minutes, and then we'll get back to it.
Matt, I appreciate you, brother. Thank you so much, man.
Of course, dude. Yeah, I'll talk to you soon.
See ya.
See you, brother.
Guys, like Matt said, he plugged it a couple times. I don't think Zeke maybe did once. If you're in here, there is a free trial stream for either one of them. Just go to the tweet that says DCTV is live with Dead Prez Picks or DCTV is live with Prop Geek Zeke. Prez is actually running a free trial until the end of Black Friday, I believe. I think it's till November 29th or the end of that day, so November 30th. And Zeke is offering 3 days free. They both showed you the value. Zeke went through his Discord, showed you his minions, showed you some of his EV tools. Matt, Dead Press Picks. Obviously, if you just listen to the guy talk, you understand how he's analyzing these lines and what he's actually doing to send these plays out. So both of these guys are incredibly sharp and obviously very entertaining. So great time to hop in these free trials. And if there are any other things that you guys want us to cover on these next streams, just drop it in the chat. We had awesome chat participation today. You guys are the best. Obviously, we're going to be doing these shows every single day from 1 to 3 or 2 to 4 Eastern. Sorry, I'm Central Time. So if there's something that you want to see out of these streams, any guests, tag them, drop it in the chat. We appreciate all the support as always. Again, go check out their free trials underneath the stream links. And we will catch you guys tomorrow at 2 o'clock Eastern.